Have you ever felt a subtle sense that something isn't quite right? Almost as if you're living a life that wasn't meant for you. What if that wasn't just a feeling, but a signal that your reality is actually far more fluid than you ever imagined? We exist in a matrix of infinite potential, where each thought, each decision, each belief creates a ripple effect that branches into a new, distinct reality. Your current life experience is not a fixed, immovable object. It's merely one of countless timelines, all unfolding simultaneously. These aren't just theoretical possibilities. They are very real, very present, and continually shifting based on both individual and collective consciousness. It's important to understand that what you perceive as your life is only one potential path, and that you are far more in control than you might think or have been led to believe. Pay attention to the whispers that guide you. Perhaps you've noticed specific numbers appearing repeatedly, or experienced moments of synchronicity that seem too significant to ignore. These aren't random coincidences. They are clues from your higher self, subtle nudges indicating that you are being guided to a new path, to a new timeline. They signal a shift, a moment where your reality is becoming more receptive to your influence. These aren't just abstract ideas. They are the very mechanisms by which you can reclaim your life. The systems, for ages, have tried to make us believe that we are at the mercy of our lives and that we have no control over our fates. But that was always a lie, and that control is now slipping. Understanding the true nature of reality is not just an intellectual exercise. It's about unlocking your deepest potential and reclaiming your power to shape your own destiny. The ability to recognize that reality is fluid and not fixed places you in the driver's seat, enabling you to consciously design your experiences. You are not a passive observer. You are an active participant in creating your reality, moment by moment. The potential for personal freedom is directly related to your understanding of these concepts. This also applies to the collective. The increasing chaos, the social unrest, the sense of global uncertainty you see in the world are not signs of impending doom, but rather indicators of a larger timeline shift that is already underway. It is a signal that the old systems are starting to break down, making way for new potentials. The collective consciousness is rapidly shifting, and you are a part of this movement. The knowledge you are about to gain is a powerful tool that will enable you to consciously navigate this shift. This isn't about passively observing. This is about actively choosing the reality you want to experience. You are not merely learning information, you are acquiring a new skill, a new capability that allows you to fully take command of your life. You're not trapped in a predetermined future. You are the architect of your own destiny. And understanding this is the very first step to actively and consciously designing the life of your dreams and the world you want to see. Let's delve into the core understanding. The foundational element of reality is that everything is interconnected, everything is energy and vibration, and that this energy is responsive to consciousness. Your thoughts, your emotions, your intentions, they all emanate from you and contribute to the shaping of your reality. The very act of observing something changes its state. This is not just a theory, it's a fundamental aspect of how the universe functions. The observer effect, which is typically associated with quantum physics experiments, also applies to the individual level. Just as a scientist's observation influences the outcome of a quantum experiment, your awareness influences your personal timeline. What you choose to focus on, to believe in, that is what will manifest in your experience. Your choices are not neutral. They actively shape the reality you encounter. For example, an individual who believes they are constantly unlucky will find circumstances that confirm that belief. Another person who believes that they are always supported by the universe will notice events aligning with their beliefs. It's a direct correlation and a very powerful force. What you believe, you create. If you change the underlying belief, you will change the timeline, and you will change your reality. Perhaps you find yourself thinking about a new business opportunity or a new path for your life. And then you start seeing advertisements, hearing conversations, noticing coincidences related to that thought. These synchronicities are not coincidences. They are signals from the universe that a potential timeline is coming into focus. This shows you that your intention is gathering energy, that you are on the right track, or that a new opportunity is presenting itself. They confirm that you are being guided towards a specific outcome, and are indicators that that timeline is now available. If reality is a fluid construct, then are you living the life you truly chose, or the one that others have imposed upon you? What would your life look like if you knew you had the ability to actively select the reality you wanted to experience? The shift we are experiencing is not something to fear. It is a movement of collective consciousness and a profound opportunity for change and conscious creation. The perceived chaos is merely an indication that the old systems are losing their grip and that the timelines themselves are becoming more malleable to your influence. The collective synchronicities you are noticing, the social upheavals, they all reflect a collective desire for change. This isn't just about personal transformation. It is an opportunity to consciously create a new reality together. You have so much more control than you know. In the following sections, we will discuss practical tools and techniques that will allow you not just to perceive, but to actively navigate and consciously shift timelines. You are about to discover how to create the reality of your dreams. Your personal experience is now entirely within your control. So let's delve deeper into how these timelines actually function. If reality is fluid, like an ever-changing river, then each choice, each belief, each point of focus you hold acts like a small current, steering your experience into a new direction. This isn't about passively being carried along the stream of life. It's about actively choosing which waterways you wish to navigate, and that these decisions, whether conscious or unconscious, are constantly shaping your unique experience. Consider someone who feels perpetually stuck in a dead-end job, believing they have no other options. This belief is a node, holding their timeline in a specific pattern. However, if they choose to believe that new opportunities are available to them and actively look for them, this new intention begins to act like a new current, pulling them away from that stagnant path and towards a new potential. This is not a one-time event. Every choice they make going forward will either reinforce the stuck pattern or will continue to move them towards a more fulfilling and abundant career. This shows you that even the smallest decisions have a ripple effect, and that nothing is insignificant. These small choices accumulate and eventually lead to a dramatically different outcome, and often in ways we might not even expect. So, are you recognizing how much power you actually hold in this process? You aren't drifting through life without control. Your decisions, your focus, your beliefs, all are actively shaping your entire timeline. Your personal timeline, therefore, isn't some predetermined path carved in stone. It's a living expression of your inner world, a constantly unfolding manifestation of your thoughts and beliefs. Your beliefs, in fact, act like powerful magnets, attracting experiences that resonate with those beliefs. If you believe the world is a dangerous place, you'll find evidence that confirms that belief. However, if you believe in the inherent goodness of the world, you'll begin noticing people and events that support that viewpoint. The key is that if you change the underlying beliefs, you will then, by definition, change the timeline itself, leading you into entirely different realms of experience. Take, for example, a person who struggles with self-doubt and a lack of confidence. After a conscious shift to believing that they are powerful, capable, and worthy, they will suddenly begin to see a dramatic transformation in their life. They might start getting promotions at work, attract new and fulfilling relationships, and suddenly find that their entire life is taking a new direction. This isn't magic. It's a demonstration of the observer effect, playing out in your own personal reality. The responsibility for conscious creation also comes with understanding that you're the one who is wielding this power. So are you ready to take responsibility? Life, in essence, is like a choose-your-own-adventure book, with each decision acting as a turning point that directs your journey towards a new outcome. Each moment presents you with a myriad of possibilities, each subtly different from the last, and that it's the choices you make at these crossroads that determine the unfolding of your personal story. Think of a scenario where you're facing a difficult decision, perhaps choosing between two job offers or deciding whether to end a relationship that isn't fulfilling. One choice might lead you down a path of growth, opportunity, and happiness, while the other might lead to stagnation and dissatisfaction. This is a perfect example of a tangible timeline branching out, and how these choices, which may seem relatively minor at the time, can drastically alter the course of your life. Recognizing the power of choice can show you that you are not a victim of circumstance, but the active co-creator of your own destiny, and that you hold all of the power right now. This concept also builds on the understanding that your experience comes from within, and that the external world is a direct reflection of your internal state. What are you choosing at this crossroads? Are you aware of the importance of your next decision? And further, your emotional state acts as a type of tuning fork, which vibrates at a specific frequency, attracting experiences that resonate with that vibration. Emotions aren't just feelings. They are a powerful indicator of which timeline you are currently tuned into. If you're feeling joy, gratitude, and excitement, you're more likely to attract experiences that reflect those feelings. Conversely, if you're experiencing negativity, anger, or fear, you're more likely to attract events and situations that resonate with that lower frequency. Think about a time when you may have started your day in a negative mood, perhaps waking up on the wrong side of the bed. It may seem like everything that followed seemed to go wrong, one thing after another, like a domino effect of negative experiences. This is because your negative mood acted like a magnet, attracting similar negative events. Therefore, mood management and emotional regulation are not just beneficial for your mental health. They are also powerful tools for consciously creating a more positive and desired reality. How much control are you exercising over your emotional state? And how can you leverage this insight to attract a more desirable outcome? Now that we've explored the mechanics of timeline creation, let's explore some practical tools that will allow you to navigate these realities. Visualization is a powerful way to intentionally begin to navigate different timelines. It isn't just passively imagining something. Visualization is like an energetic rehearsal of your desired future timeline, and that this process begins to set the intention and create the pathways necessary to bring that vision into reality. When you vividly imagine your desired outcome, you are essentially pre-experiencing that timeline, which makes it more likely to manifest. The key here is to engage all your senses in your visualization, and that it isn't just an image you are creating, but a felt experience. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the excitement, and truly step into that desired reality. If you want to be a marathon runner, for example, don't just visualize crossing the finish line. Feel the exhilaration, the joy of victory, the sense of accomplishment, and that these powerful feelings will begin to shift your timeline towards that outcome. The more detailed and emotionally resonant your visualization, the more powerful the effect will be. Are you utilizing this technique to create the reality you desire, or are you only using your imagination for entertainment purposes? Affirmations are another powerful technique for shifting limiting beliefs, and by extension, changing your timeline. Affirmations are not just positive thoughts. They are declarations, spoken with conviction, that reprogram your subconscious mind. They rewrite the old, limiting beliefs that have held you back from experiencing a different timeline. The idea is to choose powerful statements, repeat them consistently, and believe in their truth. This creates new neural pathways in your brain, making the new beliefs more and more automatic. For example, instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," try stating, "I am worthy of love and success." This new belief can rewrite your entire life experience. The key here is to repeat these statements with conviction, and that they are not simply wishful thinking. Think about how children easily accept their parents' affirmations as truth. This is because they don't have a lifetime of negative programming that they have to unlearn. Similarly, by using affirmations consistently, you can reprogram your own subconscious mind to accept new truths and create a new pathway for your reality. What beliefs do you need to rewrite? What affirmations can you use to begin this process today? Intention setting and directed focus acts as the steering wheel for your timeline. By setting clear intentions, you're essentially selecting specific timelines that you wish to experience. Your intentions are like commands to your subconscious, and when they are set with clarity, they act like an internal GPS for the universe to respond to. The trick is that your focused attention is not just about thinking about the outcome, but actually feeling as if it is already achieved. Imagine a person setting the intention to start a new business. They don't just think about it. They feel the excitement, the fulfillment, and the abundance of that new reality as if it is already happening. They are not just wishing for it, they are actively feeling into it. This emotional resonance begins to shape reality, and that the universe responds to that clarity and conviction by aligning the circumstances to meet your clear intention. The direction of your focus, therefore, is the direction of your timeline. Are you choosing your focus, and are you aware of your destination? And finally, reality checks are a critical component in becoming more aware of your current timeline. These checks are designed to heighten your mindfulness of your environment and your internal state, and act like a compass, showing you whether you are truly conscious in your present moment. A reality check might include questioning details in your environment, looking for repeating patterns, or even asking yourself if you are dreaming. These practices are designed to bring you back into the present moment and make you a more conscious observer of your experience, allowing you to have more control. The goal is not to live in a constant state of questioning, but to cultivate a habit of active awareness, moving beyond passive observation into active participation in your reality. You can simply look around and ask, is this really happening? The more frequently you engage in these checks, the more aware you become of the subtleties of your timeline. So, are you paying enough attention to your experience to consciously navigate your timeline? Now, let's explore the nature of the impending shift. This should not be seen as an external event that is happening to you, but instead, a collective awakening that is happening through you. The shift is not a catastrophic event, but rather an opportunity for unprecedented global transformation. You can see the old structures, the old belief systems, and the old ways of doing things are breaking down, making space for something new to be born. This shift is not something to fear, but instead it is an invitation to become more conscious, more connected, and more empowered than ever before. Think of a chrysalis breaking open, and that the destruction of the old self is required to allow the new self to be born. This shift represents a necessary stage of growth. Think about the collective growth after large-scale catastrophes. The human race, time and time again, always finds a way to not only rebuild, but to do so in a better way. The same applies to our current state, and this perceived chaos is actually a sign that we are ready to transform. Therefore, how can you embrace the opportunities of this transformation rather than succumbing to fear? Moreover, the idea of linear time itself is also an illusion. Time is not a straight line, but a more fluid and interconnected construct where past, present, and future all coexist simultaneously. Certain quantum principles, such as quantum entanglement, support the notion that time is not as fixed as we think. The idea of cause and effect is challenged when we begin to understand that the future can have just as much an impact on the present as the past can. This interconnectedness means that you are not simply bound by the past, but that you can consciously begin to rewrite it from your current perspective. Consider a moment where you felt the presence of a future event, as if you had already experienced it in the past. This can be a feeling that is difficult to put into words. Or consider a moment where you had a deep sense that a decision you were about to make had already been made, and that the future was somehow influencing your present actions. These experiences, which might seem unusual, are actually indications of a more fluid and malleable nature of time. and that you are not bound by the limitations of linear perception. So how can you leverage this understanding to navigate your life with more conscious awareness? And it's critical to understand that your personal shifts in consciousness contribute to the collective timeline, and that you are not an isolated observer, but instead an integral part of this collective transformation. Your conscious navigation and your personal growth don't just benefit you. They also create a ripple effect on a global scale, adding to the collective transformation. Just as a single drop of water can create a wave in the ocean, your personal growth has a ripple effect on everyone around you. This means your work on yourself, your conscious choices, and your commitment to positive change is not just a personal endeavor, but a global contribution as well. Understanding this, we are not just individuals, we are part of a whole, and we are all connected through the collective field. So how can you begin to recognize the impact that your personal journey has on all of humanity? This brings us back to the idea that this heightened sense of uncertainty you may be feeling, it is not a bad thing, and that it is actually an invitation to step into your own creative power. The apparent instability of timelines provides an unprecedented opportunity to make a major shift, to rewrite your experience, and to choose a new course for your life and for humanity. The tension and chaos you may be feeling is not an indication that the world is falling apart, but instead a sign that the old structures are now dissolving, and that there is a void to be filled with new potential. So how will you use this newfound knowledge and understanding to step into your creative power? Now, let's take a moment to appreciate the power of pattern recognition as a tool that can be used to navigate timelines. These patterns are not random events, but can act like compasses, pointing you to the most aligned timeline for your experience. As we've touched upon before, repeating numbers can act as signals from your higher self or from the universe itself. When you begin noticing these patterns, you will start to see how they often coincide with moments of significant change, important decisions, or major shifts in awareness, and that there is a meaning behind the numbers that appear to you. For example, the repeating number sequence of 1111 is often associated with new beginnings, spiritual awakenings, and alignment with your soul's purpose. The repeating number 222 can often signify harmony, balance, and trust in the unfolding of your life's journey. The repeating number 333 often represents the guidance and support from your spiritual team, and that you are not alone. By understanding the meaning behind these numbers, you can gain a deeper insight into the subtle clues that are guiding you on your path. What number sequences are you noticing, and how can you interpret their meaning? Synchronicities also serve as powerful confirmations that you are moving towards your desired timeline. The more you align yourself with your intentions, the more these meaningful coincidences will show up in your experience. These synchronicities can serve as positive feedback, reinforcing your belief in your own power to create the reality that you desire. Consider a time when you were in a state of flow, fully immersed in the present moment, and you may have noticed that these coincidences began to appear with more frequency. These were not random events. They were signals that you were perfectly aligned with your chosen path, and that the universe was responding to your intentions. These instances serve as a potent confirmation that you are moving along the right timeline. What synchronicities have you been noticing, and how can you interpret them as signals of your progress? And also, apparent glitches in reality, like déjà vu, odd occurrences, or feelings of unreality, can be signals of potential timeline instability, and also timeline movement. These are not random events, or just simple glitches in the matrix, but they are wake-up calls that are bringing you to a more conscious state, and are clues about how timelines are shifting in real time. Maybe you had a moment of déjà vu, and suddenly felt a deep sense of familiarity with an experience that you knew had never happened before, or you experienced some sort of an odd occurrence that seemed to defy logic. Consider your mental state at those moments. What were you thinking about when that happened? These glitches in the matrix are designed to remind you that reality is not as fixed and solid as it may seem. So how can you use these experiences to become more aware of your own internal shifts in consciousness? And finally, your own internal mechanisms, your feelings, your intuitions, and your gut instincts act as the ultimate compass, guiding you toward the most aligned path for your highest good. These inner feelings are the true signs of your inner knowing, and that you don't need any outside validation for the choices you make. When you pay attention to these internal signs, you will begin to notice that you always have the answers you are looking for, and that all outside guidance is only there to confirm what you already know. The key is to begin to trust that inner voice and let it guide you. You are becoming your own guru, and that all of the answers are already within you. So, how will you begin to cultivate this inner knowing and trust in your own internal compass? Remember, the ability to consciously navigate timelines is not some kind of magical power. It's a skill that you can develop and master through consistent practice and application of these principles, and that this is a journey of self-discovery and not just a practical exercise. You are learning to become more aware of your power, not just to understand it intellectually, but to actually apply it in your daily experience and create the life that you truly desire. You are not just learning information, you are mastering the art of conscious creation. You are taking responsibility for the entire outcome of your life. This journey is not just about changing your timeline. It's about transforming yourself into the conscious creator you are meant to be. So, are you ready to step into your role as a master navigator of your reality? Ultimately, the observer, you, is the one who holds the true power to shape your reality. It's essential to fully understand that you always had this power, you just weren't taught how to use it properly. The systems of the world have intentionally kept you in a position of victimhood, not realizing that you are the one who holds the power to change it all. The responsibility and the power has always been within you, waiting to be unleashed. So, what will you do with this newfound understanding, and are you ready to unleash your true power? In the upcoming sections, we will dive even deeper into the specific methods to accelerate and enhance your timeline navigation abilities. The techniques we have discussed so far are only the beginning of your understanding, and that there is so much more potential to unlock. The idea is that you have the potential to create anything you want, and that you are just learning how to navigate your reality with more conscious awareness, and that this is not a linear process, but instead a journey of constant growth. So are you excited to unlock even more of your potential and take your experience to the next level? You are not just a passive passenger on your timeline. You are the architect of your own experience. You are the creator of your reality, and you hold the power to choose the outcome of every moment and all of your future experiences. You are not bound by past experiences or old patterns. You are free to create whatever outcome you desire, and the potential to do so is unlimited. This is not just a theory. This is a reality that you are actively creating every single moment of your existence. Are you ready to take full control and begin building the life of your dreams? So, let's bring it all together now and examine how this understanding of reality can completely transform your experience. The key revelation is that you are not simply an observer of reality, but rather, you are the active creator of it through your attention and your intention. This means every moment of your experience is a direct reflection of what you choose to focus on, what you choose to believe, and what you choose to feel. It's not an abstract concept. It's a very practical and powerful truth, which means you are not at the mercy of outside forces, but that you hold the reins to your experience. Think of it like a radio. The world is broadcasting countless stations, each representing a different timeline. You, as the listener, have the ability to choose which station you tune into by adjusting the dial, which represents your beliefs and your emotional state. So are you consciously choosing your station, or are you allowing the static of old patterns to determine your experience? And regarding the patterns, those repeating numbers and synchronicities are not just random occurrences, but are personalized feedback mechanisms that are designed to help you navigate these shifting timelines. They are like a compass, pointing you to the most aligned path, the most aligned timeline for your experience, and that these signals are not external, but are coming from your own internal guidance system. When you start to notice repeating sequences or any kind of synchronicity in your life, it's an invitation to pause, to reflect, and to ask yourself, what is this trying to show me? By recognizing and interpreting these clues, you become a conscious navigator of your life, adjusting your course as you see fit. It's like having a GPS system for your reality, constantly providing feedback on the direction you're heading, allowing you to make real-time adjustments and ensure that you are on the right path for your highest good. So, are you utilizing your internal navigation system, or are you ignoring the signs that are guiding you? The core understanding to take away from all of this is that your reality is not a fixed entity, but it's a product of your choices, beliefs, and consciousness. You are not a passive recipient of life. You are an active participant in its creation. Every thought you think, every feeling you experience, every action you take is shaping your timeline, creating the experiences of your future and rewriting your past. It's important to recognize that this power comes with responsibility. By becoming aware of this, you have the power to begin to rewrite the story of your life from a position of mastery and not one of victimhood. Imagine someone who has always struggled with feelings of inadequacy. If they consciously choose to adopt a belief that they are capable, worthy, and powerful, their entire life can begin to change. This demonstrates that the interpretation of your experience is what creates that experience, and that your life is a movie where you are the director, the writer, and the main character. So, are you aware of your power as the author of your life story, and are you ready to take on that role? This shift in perspective is critical because you can now see how you have moved from a place of feeling like a victim to realizing you are in charge of creating your experience. The key is not just to understand this intellectually, but to deeply embody it in your life. This requires taking responsibility for your thoughts, feelings, and actions, and becoming aware of how they are all interconnected. You are the one in charge of the unfolding of your timeline, and you have the power to create something new, something better, and something more in alignment with who you truly are. Consider a time you felt completely powerless in the face of a challenge. Now you can understand that you have the power to change the story. Remember the initial feeling of being stuck, or that something was off. This is the exact opposite of that. You are not trapped, you are powerful, and that is your natural state. You are in control, and this understanding is the key to unlocking your full potential. So, are you ready to release the victim mentality and step into your role as the conscious creator of your reality? And regarding the big picture, it's also critical to understand that these timelines are not just personal, but they are interconnected, and the shifts in individual consciousness have a direct impact on the shared reality of the collective. This means that by understanding how to influence your own timeline, you are also contributing to a larger shift in the entire world around you. By moving towards positive states, you have a ripple effect on everyone around you, and that your individual growth is not separate from the collective. Think of a choir and how each individual voice, when harmonized, creates a beautiful and powerful sound. In the same way as each person consciously creates, the collective reality also begins to shift towards a more positive direction. We can all move towards a shared, positive experience if we do so together, but it must start with each person taking responsibility for their own reality. So, are you ready to harmonize your own experience with the collective and create a better future for all? Major cultural and societal shifts also act as markers of how our collective timelines are changing. When you see large-scale changes in values, beliefs, and behaviors, it is a sign that the collective consciousness is moving towards a different outcome, and that it is not a linear progression. For example, consider the rapid shifts in social equality and awareness of environmental issues. These are not just gradual changes, they are jumps in collective belief. This demonstrates that our shared beliefs can be rewritten, and that the way things are is not the way they have to be. The system, that is trying to limit humanity is losing its grip, and that its collapse is directly related to the collective timeline shifting. This means we all have the ability to change our future by choosing our focus and our intentions. So, are you seeing the signs of the collective timeline shifting, and how can you help shape it in a positive direction? It's also very important to reframe the heightened sense of uncertainty you may be feeling as an invitation and not a threat. The instability of timelines doesn't mean that the world is ending. It's an opportunity to create a more desirable reality. The chaos you feel is the stirring before creation, and that by understanding how to navigate these currents, you have the ability to take control of your own experience. The tools we have presented, such as visualization, affirmation, and pattern recognition, are not just for personal use. They are tools for navigating this uncertainty and consciously directing yourself to the outcome you choose. Think of a ship in a storm. The waves may seem chaotic, but an experienced captain can utilize the elements to navigate the waters to a safe harbor. Likewise, you can navigate this perceived chaos with intention and clarity and become the master of your own experience. So, are you ready to embrace this uncertainty as an opportunity and become the captain of your ship? Furthermore, understanding the fluidity of time and the interconnectedness of the past, present, and the future will give you an advantage as you begin to take on this new role. The linear perception of time as being a straight line with a defined past, present, and future is an illusion. All moments exist simultaneously, and they all have the ability to influence each other. This means that the future can influence the past just as much as the past can influence the future, and that the cause and effect model of the world is not as rigid as we think. This understanding is critical to grasping the power of conscious creation. Consider a time you felt the impact of a future event on your present. You may have had a feeling about something that was going to happen, and then, in reflection, realized that your present actions were directly influenced by that future state. Time is malleable, and our understanding of it is limited, but these examples are signals of a much larger truth. So, are you beginning to see how the interconnectedness of time and the power of conscious creation can completely transform your life? And now, let's integrate all of these techniques into a powerful toolkit for navigating your timelines. The understanding of the observer effect, combined with the practices of visualization, affirmations, pattern recognition, and intention setting, create a cohesive approach to conscious reality creation. Each of these tools builds on the other, creating a comprehensive approach that empowers you to step into the role of the architect of your experience. They aren't separate tools, but are all part of the same process, and when used together, they become exponentially more powerful. Think of a chef and how they combine different ingredients to create a specific dish. Each ingredient has its own purpose, but together they work in harmony to create the desired outcome. In the same way, these tools will help you create the experiences you desire. So, are you ready to combine all of the tools and create the masterpiece of your life? Remember the initial feeling that something was off, and that you were not quite in alignment with your true path. This feeling was not paranoia, it was your awakening. You have been on a journey of discovery, and the concepts presented here are just the beginning of your transformation. You are now on a new path, and you are now in charge of the trajectory. This journey is ongoing, and that there is always more to learn, more to discover, more to experience, and more to master, but this foundation is critical for moving forward. Just like the repeating numbers are signals of timeline shifts, they are also markers along a journey, and that you are exactly where you need to be. So, are you ready to continue your journey and embrace the next stage of your growth? And finally, let's directly address the questions that were presented at the beginning. Your experiences are not passive. They are the direct result of your active participation in the creation of your reality. The matrix is not a prison. It's an opportunity for co-creation, and it exists in a dynamic relationship with your consciousness. Reality is a process of active participation, and you are not just an observer, but an integral part of the unfolding of all things. Consider a dream. You aren't just watching the dream. You are creating it in real time while you are inside of it. Your waking life is the same. You are not separate. You are an active participant in the creation of the entire experience. So, do you now see your role in the creation of your experience? And are you ready to take the reins of your life? This understanding releases the tension of the video by making it clear that the shift is not something to be feared, but rather something to be embraced. The impending shift is an invitation to step into your own power. The choices you are making right now will directly impact the unfolding of your reality, and that this gives you the power to create positive outcomes for yourself and for everyone around you. Just like a rubber band after reaching maximum tension, your timeline is now ready to spring into a new configuration, and you are the one who chooses the shape it will take. Therefore, you are no longer a victim of your reality. You are the conscious creator, and you hold all of the power in this moment. So, are you ready to embrace this power and start creating your best possible future? Now, let's move into even deeper questions and explore areas that will take us even beyond these concepts, such as the very nature of consciousness itself and how it is the foundational building block of all of reality. What is consciousness, and how does it create experience? And how is the individual consciousness related to the collective consciousness, and how do they interact? These questions are far more profound and are only the beginning of another journey of self-discovery. As you continue to explore these concepts, remember to question everything, to challenge your own beliefs, and that there is always more to learn, and this journey of exploration is never over. And further, it is imperative to explore the relationship between personal manifestation and collective transformation, and how you can contribute to the positive evolution of humanity. What is possible when we understand the interconnectedness of all things? The personal power that has been unlocked is only the beginning, and that the collective power is the ultimate expression of what we can create together. The individual experience is part of a much larger experience, and when we work together, we are able to create something truly extraordinary. So, how can you begin to explore these deeper questions and consciously contribute to the evolution of our collective reality? I encourage you to continue exploring these concepts through research, meditation, visualization, and by actively participating in your own journey. This is your responsibility, and only you can create your own future. I invite you to share your insights with others and help to spread this knowledge so that we may all collectively benefit. The keys are in your hands, and you are in charge of what you create with this understanding. This is the time to begin. So, are you ready to take this next step and continue exploring the unlimited potential within you? And remember, this video is only the beginning. There are far deeper metaphysical concepts to explore, and there are even more intricate ways to intentionally create your reality. There are also even more hidden truths to be discovered if you are willing to look beyond the surface. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep creating your best possible future. There is no limit to what you can experience, and no limit to what you can become. Thank you.